Hello everybody and welcome to more Heroes of the Storm content. We have a game on Tomb of the Spider Queen today, and of course you all know what that means, that there's a pretty high chance that we are going to see the Lord of the Dunks. And this game is no exception. We're having Puszek team going up against NaVi, and I mean we all know that the Polish team is pretty strong. Just recently we had a game that they played during the DreamHack Valencia qualifier where they went up against Rocket and they nearly took that series. It was a great best of 3 that we saw there, and today they're going up against NaVi. NaVi of course an extremely strong team and definitely a team that you need to be afraid of, but Puszek team, they kind of know that they are doing pretty well lately, so they have probably a lot of confidence going into this game. It is a best of 1 and we're going to see that Azmodan composition on the side of Puszek trying to take down the strong European team of NaVi. So guys, let's find out if they can do it or if NaVi is once again showcasing that they are just extremely good against this stuff. They already took down a few other teams with Azmodan in the recent past. Maybe they can do it again. We're going to find out right now on Tomb of the Spider Queen here at the Zoti Cup.
It is NaVi time! Once again, NaVi versus Puszek at the Zoti Cup. In the round of 8, we're seeing the Polish Puszek team going up against NaVi on Tomb of the Spider Queen. And to the left side of the map, it is NaVi with Breeze on Anubarak, Splendor on Uther, Eternal on Sylvanas, Abatha played by Shrimpy, and JPL on Khaldor. To the right side of the map, we have Puszek team, and they are playing an Azmodan composition. Today we're having them with AD on Tassadar. Oh, look at that. Uberim on Azmodan, Kreku on Jaina, GoTerra on Johanna, and the Turtle on Rega. Alright, so much for the questions where AD is currently playing here. Subbing in apparently today for Puszek team. Barshek, one of the Puszek team members, as far as I know, joined Gamers 2. At least that's the latest info that I got. And now we have AD playing here for the probably second best Polish team. So that's pretty cool. An early pause in the game allows us to go over the builds, and in case of Rega we already have a slight adjustment here with the Spirit Walker's Grace. Rega is a hero that right now feels very straightforward in the way that he plays, but also pretty cool. Normally on level 4 it's Feral Heart, and the big talents for the chain heal come in on 13 and 16. Especially the 16 talent is great for team fights. You reduce the cooldown of your chain heal by 3 seconds if you hit 3 heroes with your heal. And that is pretty damn awesome if you are running into 5 versus 5 situations, so I really like that a lot. I've been playing Rega quite a bit since the patch, and he is super fun to play. So we're seeing for Nubaraki on the side of NaVi currently the extended spikes with the increased range on the Impale. But Azmodan, that's of course going to be the big thing here. Ooh, nice stun, but they actually screw a little bit with the stacking process. We all know how strong Azmodan can be on this map, and in case that you don't, then have a look at this talent. The important part is that for every single creep that you kill, or that gets killed shortly after, use the Orb of Annihilation by a spell, for example from GoTerra, using Punish or Shield Glare, gives you 2 additional damage points, and you can stack that up until you reach 500, and it is absolutely amazing. The big thing about this map in particular is that the lanes are so close together that you can roam with a couple of your heroes, and you have 1 or 2 helping you out, preparing the waves, and then you hit that globe, the Orb of Annihilation, and you can do a whole lot of damage with that and just like take them down. So we're going to keep a close look on Azmodan stacks over the course of the game. We had a couple of matches where even at the 4-5 minute mark, Azmodan players already had 200 extra damage on their Q, and it is absolutely... it is so difficult to deal with. Like, it's really a nightmare in the late game when Azmodan just does more than 1,000 damage with that orb, especially of course since the range is so big. But he is having a bit of trouble. Like, the way that they are doing this is not really working out perfectly. 10 stacks after he was trying to hit 4 waves is absolutely nothing. So they are definitely running into a bit of a problem there, and well, one of the problems is definitely that Splendor with the heal that he has can screw with the stacking a bit and just like get a few of the hit points back to the minions. Of course, they were always trying to also stun out Uberim on Azmodan, but that is definitely not a good start into the game for them. So the Polish team is currently slowed down, and the best way to slow down the stacking process in Azmodan is to make that happen in the early game. The reason for that is pretty simple. If you make it happen in the early game, then you will hit level 4, level 7 at some point, and then it's very difficult for the Azmodan team to just like roam from lane to lane and get these stacks going. Once again, he didn't hit anything here, and that is really well done on the side of NaVi, trying to completely negate that. So job well done. We're having 14 Guys, this is absolutely nothing. That was finally a decent wave where they at least hit 4, but 2 minutes in, 3 minutes in, only having 22 extra damage on Azmodan is really, really bad. And that's not something where you just say like, okay, this Azmodan player sucks. It's just NaVi trying to screw with them wherever they can, trying to stun out Azmodan when he's throwing his globe, going for a bit of an additional heal, Shrimpy jumping in with Abathon, all these things. And that works really well for them right now. But still, like, just that being said, this is of course a game that could go either way. If Azmodan gains a bit of momentum with the stacking process, and right now this is exactly what happens, he will still get his numbers up. It's going to be a bit later than normal, but still, it's not going to be easy to beat in the late game. So we're having, in regards to the builds, now on Uther Protective Shield, we're seeing the Legion of Beetles taken for Breeze on level 4. The bot lane is where we see Eternal pushing up against AD who chose Tassadar in this game and went for Mental Acuity on level 4, reducing the cooldown on his Oracle and therefore the vision that he grants the team. Very important when you want to control the 2 turn-in points and make sure that you get those turn-ins. And talking turn-ins, we're seeing the Polish team now already with 32 gems turned in. NaVi hasn't done anything like that just yet, and they will have to take care of that eventually. We have to see also, again, Snowstorm taken on level 4 on the side of Jaina, getting way more popular. And as mentioned, we have for Rhaegar, in this case, Feral Hearts taken. On level 7, you still have the option of either going for Cleanse or you go for the Shield. Those are basically the 2 popular options that we are seeing there. And Stressful Healing should be a no-brainer on 10. And then later on, we have these healing talents that I was pointing out earlier. Unless you want to go for a totem build, and that usually requires a Colossal Totem on level 1, which we don't see here, so it's a little bit less likely. By now, Azmodan has actually increased his stacks, obviously. He's at 64. Not too bad. You need 80 stacks to have a full, to kill a full wave with a single orb once that you hit level 10 and use your black pool to help you out with that. But you want to have much more than that before that happens. Again, they don't get anything over here. And they really... I'm a little bit surprised. They are really struggling with that timing, but they get a good kill, and that's an important one. Early game kills are very nice. The reason is simple. You are the team that wants to go into the late game. You're the team that is a bit weaker in the early game because Azmodan just doesn't do work yet. And therefore, if you get kills, you just get more experience, you put more pressure onto your opponent. Blue-Red Weavers, by the way, are also in this case descending. That's a little bit unfortunate for them, but they should be able to just use their skills to just take them out here. Much better hit here on the side of Ibrahim right now, so they're getting the hang of it, and also, of course, the increased damage on the orb helps. But yeah, early game kills for the Azmodan comp are always great. Getting turn-ins is just awesome. We're having With the Wind taken together with Unstable Poison on the side of Sylvanas. Great hero on this map, absolutely amazing. You can push with your own Web Weavers, disable towers and forts with your Black Arrow trade, and you can at the same time then also make sure that your opponent is not going to be able to push with theirs too much. Right now, moving straight in at the bot lane. We're having still Azmodan stacking on 2, but yeah, this Web Weaver set is already down. And Abathar hasn't chosen anything yet. Needle Spine on level 7 is a very popular talent, but on this map you could also go for Mule. It depends on if you feel like you are the team that has to defend, or if you feel you are the team that wants to put the aggression out. And they actually use the Mule here. NaVi plays the passive talent on Abathar on level 7, and we're seeing the top lane still being pressured. Getting a bit of an idea now. 6 minutes in, Azmodan is at 96 stacks. Is at 104 right now. Still not amazing, far from it actually, but you can really tell that even with a slow start, with the stacking process, he's still at 100. It's still solid. It will still help him to really just push these lanes back, and the longer the game goes, the better, the more momentum Azmodan is going to get here. But as you all know, it's important that the team that plays against Azmodan, which in this case is NaVi, tries to keep the pressure up, tries to secure a level lead, and also a talent lead. And that is exactly what NaVi is currently attempting to do. Pushing those lanes in. Abathar in this case has also Adrenal Overlord and Pressurized Glance. Can be used with, for example, Breeze here on his Nubarak. Yeah, and we have Terra turning in, trying to turn in, that being said. It's 53 gems that they're currently running. And NaVi is trying now with level 10 to dominate the middle of the map again to secure their own turn in. And they have enough gems to make that happen. And that would be another Web Weaver set that just going down, just like that. So we're having Azmodan now going just from lane to lane, using now, or will soon use the Black Pool too, but that is already helping here. The Turtle, Rusov or Shof, is going to help him here with his, I think it's called Shof, but well, then again I don't know, but I think I remember that much. So we have a Locust Swarm being used, but yeah, the Turtle is trying to just like secure him a few more kills, as once again the Globe getting those. Nice. By now we have also Black Pool, that helps a lot. And it's the Blue Web Weavers that descend again, but we still have 62 gems on the side of the Polish team. Puszek team has the opportunity to turn those in eventually, as long as they don't lose them here. We're having also a Blessed Shield, Ancestral Healing, and Archon being used. Rotations from NaVi are now starting on the map once again. They of course want to use those Web Weavers to push in the lanes, and that is currently quite visible in the mid lane, but they're already dropping a tower before the Web Weavers are even there. Nice use of the Phoenix in this case, and we're having, of course, the Ultimate Evolution as the rogue ability on Abathur. On any other map, on a bigger map, Monstrosity would have been a valid option, but here the Ultimate Evolution is probably the better talent. And they push this in pretty hard, but there is the counter rotation from Puszek team, sacrificing heroic abilities to push them back here. So far, well done. And Azmodan again with another hit up to the top lane. And he's doing quite well with that. I mean, by now with the Black Pool, Azmodan is doing more work. But using the Black Pool this often, because the stack count isn't high enough to do it without it, we're still seeing Azmodan running out of mana quite fast. So he needs to move back and just make sure that he can help out a bit with that hit as well. The stack count, on the other hand, is at 172. And that is pretty solid for now. We're having another one up at the top lane, getting that, saving the fort, but not for long. Breeze is already there and is trying to turn things around here. The bot lane, we have AD with 32 gems, and NaVi actually is at 41 now, so they need, sorry, not for NaVi, but Puszek team. So they need 9 more, and then that's it. There's a cleanse, by the way, in level 7 on the side on Rhaegar. We talked about the options earlier. Another choice would have been the shield. They're not running a melee assassin, though, so they don't necessarily need that. Level 13 should be hitting a bit faster for their opponents. Breeze could, yeah, just like speed up that process by taking down the keep here, or the fort, but so far he hasn't got the opportunity to move in for that. Red Weaver is descending, and Puszek team is actually doing pretty solid here. The stacking process on Azmodan definitely a bit the part that they have problems with the most, I want to say, at least in the early game. But they're getting there slowly and steadily, and getting that turn in was important. Killing the first tier in the game was also important, and they haven't lost too much. Usually with Azmodan, as long as you don't lose keeps, you're fine. You can lose those forts. You actually, like, you expect to lose a few of the forts since your early game is going to be weaker. But right now, Puszek team is still having a very solid position in the game itself, with the objectives, with everything that they do. They are half a level behind. A little bit more than that maybe, but we have now double spell shield, and it's a very good choice. I would not be surprised to see a third spell shield of Uther, for a simple reason. These orbs of annihilation do so much damage in the late game that you are well advised to try and play this a bit more passive, and that's exactly what they're doing. Here comes the Phoenix once again. We're having NaVi moving in, but in an immediate move back by their opponents. Another good hit by Uberim. Azmodan is starting to force the back, and Schwimpy on his Abathur copy just like lets it die. He doesn't even try to get back here. I guess he was out of cooldowns anyway. That Ultimate Evolution was trying to do some work. The double and Uburak was doing, or trying to do his thing. Breeze, of course, the original, is up at the top lane. But yeah, there's the 13 talent, and by now I must say that Puszek team is in a solid position here. So we're having on 13 the spatial efficiency. Of course, Flamethrower was taken for Kelpas, who will get his power spike at level 16 as well. We have now 230 additional damage on Azmodan. And the one thing that you have to also be aware of, or like keep in mind, is that Azmodan right now is focusing on waves, right? So he's mostly trying to take down waves, get more stacks, but at some point he will have to focus on team fighting. And once that he does that, his stacking process is going to be slowed down again, since he's going to try and hit heroes with those orbs and not going to try and go for minions. So that's an important distinction to make here as well, because, well, he would like to get those 500 stacks before that happens, but the more they can draw that out, the better for them. And of course, taking down these waves also puts NaVi in a position that they will have to push the lanes again. And by now we are just like closing in on the 260. Will soon be, of course, like the 300, and there's another like good hit. So Uberim with the Black Pool is just making that happen one time after another. 13 talents for both of them on the board yet, and that means Healing Surge. Keep in mind that I've been talking about the Wave Tide earlier, or the Tide Wave, Wave Tide, Tide Wave. Yeah, Tide Wave. So, yeah, because that is a great talent on 16 for Rhaegar. And we're going to see that for sure. It helps Rhaegar to just get great numbers out. Talking numbers, just to give you a bit of an idea what we're talking about here right now. We're having, in terms of damage against minions, against Siege, 76,000 on the side of Azmodan. That's the same amount that we're having for Sylvanas. When it comes to hero damage, Azmodan is really not taking any prizes right now. He's currently at only 6,700. That is nothing, I would say, only my god, he is so strong. But believe me, that's going to change. And they got another Web Weaver set. And that might not look as much, but that's actually extremely important. If you get that done, you buy yourself more time. You put pressure on your opponent. You start to catch up in experience by destroying structures. And they are making that happen in the mid lane right now. They're moving the rest of the team up to the top lane. And Azmodan can maybe even get a few more stacks in. Time that you buy, experience that you get, closing that gap between you and your opponent with an Azmodan composition is extremely valuable. And that's exactly what they're currently doing. The mid lane fort has been taken out. Top lane, that's where they're going for another hit. And nice! The kill against Anubarak. Wow, the Beetle got crushed. Apparently didn't really expect Azmodan to hit this one. Very well done here. And by now the experience is nearly the same. It's nearly the same here. So we have Terror and the Turtle moving in, dropping their spot at the top, and Navi needs to be careful. I told you earlier already, Puszek team is doing well these days. They gave Rocket a run for their money, and right now, Rocket should have actually lost that game. Puszek was several times in a great position. Throw Pit is being attacked up at the top lane, but it doesn't really matter, since down to the bottom we already had that fort eliminated by Team Navi, and that meant that, of course, Puszek was very well aware where they are positioned on the map. That and the Black Pool with All Shall Burn on Azmodan gave them opportunity to just like take that boss. And talking again damage, we're seeing now 312 bonus damage on the side of Azmodan. So Navi is starting to fall behind a bit. I mean, it might be a bit of a weird statement if you just look at the stats here. I mean, they're 2 kills behind, but they're still on the same experience level. But Azmodan in the late game is just going to be such a menace, and that is something that they have to prepare for. Here's already the Tidal Wave. Tidal Wave, there we go. Yeah, I knew I misspelled that. So Tidal Wave is the talent. We're also having a Blessed Hammer taken. In case of Jaina, it's Numbing Blast that we're talking about here. And of course for Tassadar we're having, well actually the level 7 talent is something that's a little bit different. Deep Shift together with Prescience and Dimensional Warp. You can't play Tassadar any more defensive than that, I want to say. So yeah, getting the hits in, making sure that whenever he has to use his Dimensional Shift or Dimensional Warp, he's going to be in a position where he is going to be gone for a long time, gets hit points back. So yeah, very tanky version of the hero that is being played here. Where we have, on the other hand, Cold Embrace plus Envenomed Spikes, but keep that Ignite also in mind that we are of course seeing on Kel'Thas. So this is where Kel'Thas gets strong. Kel'Thas and Anubarak are probably going to go for a bit of a race when it comes to damage. We have 8,000 damage against heroes now on... sorry, not Anubarak, but of course Azmodan. But now it's 9,900. You can really see how this is suddenly start to change once he starts hitting heroes. Kel'Thas is already at 28,000, but mark my words, those two will at some point get pretty close. Depends a little bit on how Azmodan plays this. And just like that, you got another 3,000 damage on the board. That is a lot. Well, more like 2,000 still. So yeah, stack count is at 350. And we're still seeing Navi being pressured back. The experience lead, by the way, is now in the hands of Puszek team. So Navi is realizing that as well, of course. And what they need to do is either trying to... Oh, they could get a kill there, and that would be great. 80 RD. Whoa! That was so close. I don't think you expected that. There was so much damage that was suddenly applied, even with the Envenom on Sylvanas, that he probably didn't really think that he would drop this fast. I guess there was also another Cold Embrace in play in this case. But yeah, he just moved back, healed himself, Prescience and Dimensional Warp making it possible. Here comes another big hit from Azmodan. Those 3 pointers are strong. And it is the attempt to turn in 91 gems on the side of Navi, but they realize that they won't be able to make it happen here. If you really try to go for one of these turn-in spots or for the objectives, you give your opponent a chance to dish out damage with poke spells. And there's no better poke than a late-game Azmodan. We're only 16 minutes in, but still, this is getting very much into the situation where Azmodan can just like dominate with those globes. And once again, his damage is now at 362. Still pretty solid. Looking at the hero damage, Azmodan is starting to really claim the top spot in his team. He's still a bit behind Jaina, but he is getting there. Of course, Kel'Thas is also making the same thing happen with his Flame Strikes now that he picked Ignite up and is applying a Living Bomb to every single talent that he hits with a Flame Strike. That is something that especially Gotera will have to worry about. 28,000, by the way, damage tanked by Anubarak. If you look at Johanna, she's already at 46,000. Very, very impressive. Yeah, Johanna just in general, an amazing tank. Soaking damage is just what she does, and she is extremely good at it. Up here, Breeze still trying to turn in, and they are just not going to their turn spot. They're not getting anything done here, are they? Every single time they're trying, there's Puszek team trying to force them back. Up at the top lane, again, we have Breeze. They're moving in for an attempted kill, but AD already, he's like always at the front, right? He's zoning. He's zoning a lot, and he's like using that storm for it. And every time you try to engage upon him, he can just simply move back. He has the talents that he needs for that, and he is using them really well. It's a very passive build, as I already mentioned before. The teams are, of course, by now aiming for level 20, so that they get the final talent for their hero. But it's especially cool to see just like how that game is currently working for Puszek team. But NaVi has already won a game, late game on this map against Azmodan in the past, so they might be able to do that again. Back then they were running Stitches as their hero, which is of course always great if you land one of those hooks, but they are very experienced and they just know how to play these things out. So they are patient in this case, and they know that Uberim is going to dish out insane damage later on, but they need to wait for an opportunity in a team fight to drop a hero, and they are willing to wait for that. Also, Abathur is still there. Good hit against JPL here. By now, 426 extra stacks. We're getting there. 500 is the cap, and they are moving into it. So we're seeing... Oh, nice position here for JPL. 35 stacks, that's... sorry, not stacks. Oh, 1,350 damage already on that Black Pool Orb. Really strong. NaVi took the lead in experience again, and look at that Abathur. Shrimpy is just saying like, yeah, screw you guys, I'm gonna go on the map now. If you are always just hogging the top lane, then I am going to soak experience bot. That is a lot of damage, though, that is being dished out here. Oh, can they get a few turn-ins? Again, not possible. Wow, Puszek team is really out there right now, aren't they? Out on the map and denying turn-in after turning, and they do it well. Again, we have another hit down to the bot lane. A stack count 462. We're closing in on the 500 now by the boss. By the way, the boss is up at the throw pit again. And here's the turn-in, isn't it? JPL, yes, he's getting that in. This time, Puszek team is too late. They finally get that turn-in, and it looks like they're going to get the level 20 with it. Going for the last few minions here. So yeah, they're going to try to make that happen now, and maybe this could force a keep. No keep has fallen this game yet. We're 20 minutes in and we didn't see a single keep fall. It's only the forts that have been annihilated. They are down. They won't be able to rebuild. No mule is strong enough to make that happen. But yeah, there we go. Level 20 talent has been taken, and that is a lot of, like, first of all, that Storm Shield and Uther is really important. You can negate a lot of orb damage with that. We're seeing Hive Mind, and that is such a good talent to have on Abathur, especially if you are running two melee heroes, and of course Uther will have to go melee range for these. Double Blink, that's cool if you want to dodge one of those orbs, or just a lockdown. So yeah, strong. But we also have now level 20 for the opponent, which is Puszek team, with a Storm Shield on on Azmodan, not going for the 5th circle or any of these talents. Could have gone for a Blink too, but so far he has never really been in danger. So he doesn't have to use that passive talent. The deep push happened already. And well, with now Rewind being used on Rhaegar, by the way, Rewind on Rhaegar, if you have that talent here, the Tidal Waves, and you have Rewind on Rhaegar, oh boy, you can basically throw out 3 heals right after another, up to nearly 4. It is so damn good if you want to heal a team. And he's of course great to also heal out a lot of the damage that Khaldor can dish out here. Damage at the bot lane. It's going to be one tower, it's going to be a second tower. Well done here. But now the Web Weavers are gone. It still allowed Azmodan to get some damage in. And we've been talking about Azmodan, and Azmodan is at 480 stacks, and you can see that he's at 21,000 damage. Still far behind Kel'Thas though. Kel'Thas has been constantly poking against Puszek, and this is also one of the heroes that Team NaVi is going to rely upon a lot. But still, this game, there's a lot on the line right now. You want to advance in the tournament, and that is currently what's going on here. Both of them with a loss of respect for each other. Of course, what we are seeing on the side of Puszek team is just trying to get the 500 stacks. Get to 500 first, and then fight. Not before 500. Play it safe, don't risk anything, no need to. We're gonna go for 500, get that stack count up, and then if we have to defend, if we have to fight a team fight, we will do that. But for now, we're just completely happy getting those additional orbs. And there's another one. Actually hitting JPL, gets healed out right away. It was only one hero that he hit, and there's the 500 count. So they are at max stacks right now, and Azmodan is now, of course, still from time to time going to go for one of those wave hits, especially for the deep push. You can see that at the bot lane, but we are going to see him focus a lot more on those team fights. And now that happened, they're also starting to move in a little bit, as you can see here. They are way more aggressive on the map all of a sudden. Starting to move out. Ibrahim's just saying, okay boys, I got it. I'm at the 500. We're not going to get more damage at that, so let's make sure they're going to hit a few there. JPL already eating that globe again. He needs to be quite careful here. And once again, here comes the engagement, and they're immediately moving in already to the stun with the double Nubara, going straight into the backline, trying to take Jaina down, but the Ball of Storm keeps her alive. The Turtle Rega had to keep himself alive to want to kill against Sylvanas. Well done here. AD already might be in a bit of trouble, but not too much. And here comes again Azmodan. Boom! Right in your face, but the Divine Shield, at least for now, negating the damage on Kelthas. He would have died here. Can they maybe kill GoTerra? Doesn't look likely. And now with one kill, they move back, they get another goal, but oh my god, JPL nearly dying, and that was actually he actually nearly died to that minion wave, didn't he? To the camp. Very well done here. So in this case, we're having now another turn in attempt, but Breeze is already there together with Splendor, so they're trying to buy some time for Sylvanas to come back. They of course need her to deep-push. 66 gems are still in the hands of Team Puszek. The Polish team doing well, as mentioned before. And just to give you a stat update here. Still 30,000 damage in Azmodan, a little bit less than you would expect at this point in the game, but then again, he just finished his stacking process. Kelthas was doing a lot of work here, but of course the Kelthas damage is being healed out quite easily by Rega, and we see on the other hand that Azmodan is doing so much work that Uther can't simply heal that out. He can heal one target, but that's about it. That's one of the problems that you have with Uther. He adds a lot of utility to the board, especially with the Divine Shield, with the stun that he has, the heal of course being another one. But in the late game, his heal is usually not as good as a Chain or Rega. Just compare the numbers here. 28,000 heal on Uther and 65,000 heal on Rega. A lot of that is of course ancestral healing, but also a lot comes from the chain heal that he has. So when it comes to area heal, Malfurion with Tranquility and Rega still stealing Uther's show. The turn-in was completed for NaVi, and that allows NaVi to maybe drop one of the keeps. At least they're putting pressure on it. And it is Puszek team that do not have a mule. Puszek team doesn't have a mule, while NaVi is currently running one on level 7 for Abathar. That really helps, of course. All the damage that is being pushed in. Yeah, good stun against Breeze. But still, he could go back here. I think he has what it takes. I think he has the cooldown ready. And here comes Shrimpy, going for the double Nubarak. One stun, two stuns. He's getting bursted, getting healed again. Keeps alive for a bit longer. Good globe again from Azmodan in the backline, but the keep is still alive. It's at half health, but go Terror! Wow, the indestructible shield has been procced, and he needs to move away right now. Gets healed out again. There's again JPL. That could be the kill. No, the shield gets a shield from Tassadar and a heal from his ally from Rega, and of course still that pressure over here. Oh, good hit against JPL once again, hitting that wave 2 and pushing that, but still it's a very, very low keep that we're seeing there. So NaVi, I'm really liking what they're doing. They know what they're up against, but they're not afraid to just go in and try and drop them, and they'll get that silence. Well done. Nice icebox at the same time, though. Greco is really low. Azmodan with a kill against Sylvanas and so much damage. Breeze is low. Splendor about to die. He's dead already, but he has redemption. He has redemption, at least I think he does. No, he does not. He actually went for Storm Shield because he wants to deal out that damage that we're seeing from Azmodan. Okay, so maybe another hit. Breeze low, but he gets away for now. So it's a 5 versus 3, and this is going to be a turn-in, isn't it? Yeah, definitely. They're going to turn in now. They have still 90 gems on their side, and that is very, very well. This is a great job that we're currently seeing. Look at the damage there. Wow, that's nearly 60% of the hit points that he just lost with a single orb. And of course, the boss not taken just yet. Blizzard actually changed it a little. Ooh, Breeze. The beetle might be a little bit too fat to pass the water elemental. Getting slowed and can't go down. And Kelthas, he died. Oh my god, that's bad news. The damage on Azmodan, 47,000, but 92,000 on Kelthas. The thing is, it just doesn't matter. With Rega having 97,000 heal, it just doesn't matter at this point. And now we're having the Web Weavers moving in. They would have gone for boss as well, but, well, we had always a bit of delay between the turn-in and the time when the boss actually disappears, where you could aggro him and still take him, and Blizzard removed that. So now we're not having this in the game anymore. That option is gone. Abathar with a copy, but Splendor is very much alone here, together with the Eternal. Only the two of them. They're trying to make something happen, but it's not going to be easy. Another big globe on the side of Ibrahim, and Puszek Puszek team in a great position to end the game right now. Puszek team is going in, try to push the core. The rest of the team will not be back for another 15 seconds, and it looks like this is going to be it. The Polish Armada is making their way in, and they drop their core. They eliminate NaVi here in the round of 8 of the Zote Cup. Really well played. The Azmodan comp goes strong, and they take the victory on Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Wow, Puszek with a great game here. At the beginning of the match, the stacking actually not working quite well for them, as you could see. Now he was trying to mess with this as much as they could, and it was really difficult for Azmodan to get his stacks up. The entire process was slowed down, but then in the end he was able to get those anyways. And now he just couldn't apply enough pressure to dominate on that early game, where Azmodan just isn't strong enough yet to really help his team out. So NaVi trying but not really succeeding in putting enough pressure on Puszek to drop a few structures, maybe even a key, but at least get that level advantage that you usually want to establish when you're going up against Azmodan. So in this case, they were not able to make that happen, and then in the late game, Azmodan, of course, slowly and steadily getting his stacks together and the extra damage, and he really put the pain on the board here. Well played by Puszek team. They advance in the bracket and defeat NaVi here, so great accomplishment for them. Congratulations, of course. And guys, if you enjoyed the match as well, I personally always love Azmodan games. I don't know why, but I'm really liking them. They're a lot of fun. And give the video a thumbs up on YouTube, drop a comment in the comment section. I'm going to see you guys next time with more Heroes of the Storm.